Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Eye Opener Society, and welcome back to a very exciting episode because we got some new toys. If you heard my show way back in the day, I love having toys, and for a long time, I've been using the Zoom PodTrack P4. Well, Zoom updated their P4 to a new version, and that's what I'm using. So if my voice sounds even sexier than normal, that's what it is. But this is going to be a really fun episode because we're trying a lot of stuff out. We also switched from Zoom to Restream, and I think that's just so we could give a little bit better of video for those of you that are watching us on video. I might as well, up the ante just a little bit. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for joining us. I also want to thank Appalachian Rootworks, Rooted in Ruins. Please check out their website, AppalachianRootworks.com. Carly and Carla, great friends of mine. They are fantastic, full service metaphysical shop, and it is absolutely the most exciting thing that there is. So if you're in Cynthiana, Kentucky, stop by, visit them, say hi, or jump on their website. Lizzie, we have a great show, don't we?
Oh, yeah, I'm so excited. Sorry, I lost internet there for a second. So I thought it was working so smoothly before we hit record, man. I'm just excited to be here today, and the weather is so nice.
And we completely lost Lizzie. This is not Restream, by the way. It is Lizzie's internet.
It's everywhere. Okay.
All right. Well, here's what we'll do before we keep losing your internet. We have a guest, and I think anybody that knows me, every time I go on TikTok, I'm always kind of following people, and then I start to get connected to certain people. One, the biggest one that I was ever connected to was you, Lizzie, right? We met off of TikTok. And because of that, we started this whole friendship. We started this whole show, and now we started a church. Now we're both co-founders of the church, and it's just great. And then I found Hannah Rose on there too, as well, from the Sound Within, and we've really connected with her. And then just recently, Lizzie, I came to you. I said, Lizzie, check out this person. I said, I think she's just perfect for our show. So we found someone new to say hello to, and we're going to learn a lot of stuff about her today. Heavenly Halos. And she's going to be joining us here. Let me bring her in. Oh, this is so cool.
Hi.
Hey, welcome to the show. Yeah, this is pretty exciting. So I found you on TikTok, and I was watching your content on there, and I said, oh, this aligns so well with our show. It's amazing. And you heard me mention Hannah Rose. She does the sound bowls too as well, and I know you do all that, and we're going to learn a lot about that. But first off, why don't you go ahead and tell the audience a little bit about you, some of the things you do, and then we'll jump into some questions and all.
All right, cool. So my name is Halos, and I'm an intuitive sound healer, tarot oracle reader, and I'm training to become a somatic coach as well. I really aim to just give people the tools that they need to empower themselves, whether that be through the knowledge that I share on my social media platforms. I just created a free guide with many of the healing tools that I used in my journey. And I'm also doing my first free class this Thursday, where I'm going to implement the tools that I used in my guide in everyday life and kind of teach those to people as well. And so, yeah, ultimately, I just aim to empower people and help them come back to their natural state of love and peace.
That's absolutely amazing. And I'm really into everything that you put out there so far that I'm watching on TikTok. Like every day I'm like, oh, another, little content drop there. And I was going to wait, but I have to ask it. I don't know just how much you, so explain it to me. I seen you the other day and you were doing some of the sound healing, and you have like a dome, a geodome.
Yeah, a geodesic dome.
Wow. Honestly, I just seen it like small inside your TikTok content, but that is absolutely amazing. How did you come about that whole setup?
Yeah, so actually, the person I'm living with right now, beautiful soul, I'm living on a land conservatory that is completely just dedicated to Earth, to connecting to nature, to connecting to ourselves. And so this geodesic dome was built on the land to amplify sound, really. So there's bowls in there that I play with, and it's just complete like magical energy. Like every time I play, it's just the resonance is so beautiful, and it really just it it just amplifies the magic that sound already has being in that dome, and it really, I think, kind of gives me like more clarity in the mission that I want to bring on this earth of just creating those more around the world. Because if we can have like more centers like that where there's these spaces that people can come and listen to sound in those areas, like the resonance is just like any nothing. No else. I don't know how to put it into words even.
I can't believe I didn't see that video. I'm gonna have to go on. And he was just telling me about it before we got on. I think those are so cool. I love the sound healing, and I've seen the pictures and stuff of those domes, but I've never gotten to experience that before. What a beautiful blessing to live there. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we I mean, I hate being stuck in four walls myself. I'm very much like you, like always outdoors, always want to be outdoors. So I really appreciate that. And all the little tidbits you give were always great. And I did read your free content that you put out on your website, unifiedfrequency.com. It's up on the screen, and we're definitely going to have it in the synopsis too for those of you not watching us. But I read through that, and it was put together so well. And if this fits into you did that one for free. And Lizzie and I were always talking about this because, when we started this church still needs to make money, but we're also in this constant, world of cosmic, frequency stuff where we say, well, we shouldn't always charge for everything. There should be free content. And you even, for the stuff that you do charge for, you even have like a sliding scale for those that, can't afford it. And I think that really touched with Lizzie and I too. You're doing it right. And I read that free content, and it was, I mean, if you just want to get everything in a nutshell, it was a really good read. And someone is just starting out and, wanted to know what you offer and to work with you for free. That's an amazing piece of material there. And I thank you for putting that out too. And what I love is towards the end, and you said, well, this is my teachings. You don't have to agree with everything on there because everybody's different. And that touched a nerve too. I said, that's exactly what Lizzie and I, bring forward to the conversation too.
Yeah, I think that that's so important to keep in mind, and that's even a video that I posted recently. I think yesterday, but well, it actually wasn't on TikTok; it was on Instagram. But it was kind of just me talking about how important it is to honor other people's perspectives and honor other truths. And I've noticed that as well. Like the more I kind of get and I say something, and people don't agree with what I'm saying, I can notice it really strike me nerve with my ego. I'm like, how dare you like think that I'm wrong? And I'm like, okay, there is no wrong, there is no right. Everyone has their own perspective. Like we just need to take a step back and really honor everyone's individuality. And that's what makes life so beautiful is, the fact that we are able to have all these different perspectives. And so yes, this is my perspective, this is my take on certain things, but I don't expect you to think that everything that I say is right. And all I'm asking is to be respected and maybe just take into consideration of certain things. But yeah, ultimately, we are all have free will over what we think.
I didn't know if you had something there, Lizzie, because I don't want to hog up the whole conversation.
Sorry, every question I missed part of it because my internet cut out and I kind of went out of the video and then came back in, and so now I have some questions, but I'm afraid to just repeat myself. So that's my bad. I just let me know if you already said some of this stuff. But I also read your document and it was just so beautiful, and it was like I think like 64 pages, and so it's like just jam packed full of stuff. And I was just curious if you have like found this in like did you take a specific program or did you just kind of like collect it over the years with your like experience and practice?
Yeah, it was something that was given to me through my own healing journey. It wasn't through a program. I was in many years of therapy, and then I've just seen a lot of different practitioners, and even just like having friends in the spiritual community, certain things that I've come across, like specifically for fasting, that wasn't something I was taught by other people. That was just like a truth that I resonated with, and I was like, this needs to be in my book because like this is so important. Like people need to know that we don't need to eat all the time. And when we don't eat, this is actually like healing our bodies. And so I was just like blown away with this information. And you know, it's funny, yeah, I was definitely charging for that initially because I wanted to get money off of it, but I kept coming across certain truths that I resonated with, thinking or people saying that um light information should be free. And I think that any information that brings us back to ourselves, I don't necessarily think that we should really be charging for that. I think certain services should be charged for. Like, yeah, if I'm going to give you a personalized sound bath, you know, I would like to receive some compensation for that. But if I'm just teaching you certain things that we all need to learn to empower ourselves, I think that that's how we're going to empower the planet.
Yeah, I love everything that you just said there.
Thank
Didn't
you.
disagree with anything. It was beautiful. I kind of get stuck on that too because it's like, yeah, you want to make money and definitely your time is valuable and you don't write 64 pages and not put any time into it, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, there's like something about it because my education has been very much like yours, like just living life and the universe had its way of telling me things, you know what I mean? And just kind of taking that in. I also found fasting at different times in my journey and loved the benefits of it. And I don't know. I just thought everything that you said was just so beautiful.
Thank you.
And I too, I found the fasting, since we're on that, it's true. People don't realize that the fasting, everybody says you got to eat, got to eat, you got to eat, but you don't. And once you realize, if you actually do go down at least the very first time I did fasting, I went for a full 8 days. And yeah, I say if I'm going to go into anything, I'm going to go head on and really see if this works. And yeah, the first 2 days was a struggle, but then after that, your body says you don't need it, and you become so used to it. And like by that 8th day, I didn't feel like I needed to rush and eat anything. And so I started eating just slowly and I just built up from there. And then now I eat one meal a day. Or at least I try to, but I go for one meal a day and I do it, well before I go to sleep. This way there's, none of that extra digestion that goes on when you're trying to sleep. So yeah, you definitely said it in that little booklet that you had there. And so if anybody wants to take that journey, yeah, it's great. And when you combine that with meditation and sound baths and all, so much stuff that you can learn about yourself. So very much.
But also consult your doctor and listen to your body and all of those disclaimery things.
Yeah, yes, those were
Thank you
also
for
added in my book.
I saw those.
Yeah,
Those were beautiful.
Yeah. No,
yeah, we're
that
not
is
doctors. This is just stuff we're suggesting. Please check with your doctor. I forget sometimes. I just go so far into that we're not
I
doctors.
I feel like in 2026 that should just go without saying. Like you see so much advice and differing opinions. Like at this point, you should just consult whoever you consult. You know, that's just my opinion.
No, I
Yeah.
agree with that. I will say it's also a little bit difficult for me because I'm not really into Western med. And I think a big part of it is because they do kind of profit off of our illnesses. And so they're kind of like trying to gatekeep certain things. And so I'm kind of like, your doctors can tell you this, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily true. And ultimately, it is just listening to your body and really tapping into yourself through meditation, saying, does this feel right to me? Does this feel wrong to me? I think that that's really the ultimate guide is yourself.
Such a funny little bubble that for legality reasons we have to say things that we almost disagree with. I don't disagree with because if you think you need to go to a doctor, like go to a doctor. Like
Yeah.
don't, no matter how spiritual you are, like that's part of spirituality is following your intuition on that one. But yeah, in my experience in the last few years of just kind of committing to that a little bit, like I've just found such beauty in how much your body really can just heal itself. Like it's pretty crazy.
100%. Yeah. No, and I think that, yeah, your body, I mean, it's funny. We really do just forget our natural state of these empowered beings. And that's why coming back to ourselves is so important. You know, we're raised in this society, we're taught from such a young age that we need to do these things in order to be successful, and we need to do this to gain health. And a lot of it is based on falsivity. And it's just really interesting, I think, like just the more awake I become and the more aware of the truth of how just much we're constantly, we have to unlearn all of that and just listen to ourselves, right? And come back to that natural state of remembrance of, yes, how empowered we are in ourselves and how much we can heal ourselves.
Yeah,
So
exactly. And back to what you were saying about individuality, it's important that each person kind of finds their own with that one too, because I think that's where the real beauty in community comes from, is where everybody can kind of paint the picture together.
Mhm.
yeah, Lizzie, she sounds a lot like us, doesn't she?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we are the same.
You go on and on about those exact same things. This is great. I love it. Um, so just because I sit and I listen to your content, okay, and I don't want to raise anything. If you don't want to talk about it, I mean, please don't. I want to respect your space on there. But all of this came through, your past, and you mentioned therapy and all that. I think it's important because I don't think people understand, just like you're talking about Western medicine and all, people go through things in life and sometimes they only can find ways of healing through this spirituality.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I truly believe you cannot heal to a full capacity without spirituality. And I think that it's because if you are disconnected from your true source, that is your source of empowerment. That is your source of wholeness, ultimately. We're diagnosed with disorders. We're given all of these labels that tell us that we're not whole, that we are damaged. And in order to detach from that, we have to come back to ourselves. And I believe that through connecting to spirit, through remembering that we are one with everything, then we can remember our true state of wholeness and realizing, oh, I'm not, broken. I'm perfect as I am. And that's where healing is able to thrive.
That sounds perfect. I really like that. And like, especially for our audience. And I've been doing this show, at least for the last 3 years, with my stepdaughter who goes through extreme anxiety. And she sat down and did the show. And we spoke about this many times. But in order to really start healing, we need to go back to ourselves, the natural side of everything, because unfortunately nowadays there's a pill for everything. And then that pill creates pills for other pills because of the side effects of those pills that require more pills from there. So I don't know where that cycle ends until you start doing something much more holistic and you start realizing, wow, this really works better than so many of the pills that I've been taking. So yeah, this is why I really enjoy meeting people that have the same sort of mindset because we can, as a community, as a whole, start saying, yeah, we may not be doctors, but listen, this is the things we've done. These are the practices that we do, and we could help you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I look at people who've been on pills their whole life. Like my grandma, for instance, she was depressed her whole life and was on like 10 different pills just her whole life and never got better. In fact, continuously got worse. And it's because you're not treating the root, you're treating the cause. And now I will say that pills have helped me. I was medicated as a teen, and when I was in an abusive household, I couldn't heal my trauma because I had to, just treat the symptoms because I couldn't admit to myself that I was being abused. That wasn't safe for me. And now that I've been out of that situation, I can look at it and I can treat the root and love that part of myself and tell myself the truth, heal through the truth. And a lot of times people they don't feel safe enough to heal with the truth. And so they're using pills to treat the symptom. And while that can be effective at parts of your life, ultimately what's going to heal you is the truth, is coming back to yourself and treating the root of the cause.
Absolutely beautiful. Go ahead, Liz. You could jump in there.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, yeah, it's kind of funny because I've been thinking about this a lot the last few days, and it seems like this kind of thing is just kind of like woven into the way we think about everything. I'm a massage therapist, and it's very common for people to come into me and they'll tell me what pain they have. They want me to just get in there with my elbows, rip them up, and then for them to not even think about it again for the next 30 days till they come back to see me. And then they just like they don't know why they're not ever getting better, and we're just having to go deeper and deeper. And I'm like, there's like 42 different things we could try.
Yeah.
But it's like it's a whole thing, but it's kind of built in this way where we kind of like outsource our healing to the doctors, we outsource our education to schools, we outsource all of this stuff. And so I think you're right. It's like at some point you have to accept some sort of spirituality, because at some point you have to like take that authority back for yourself.
100%.
So we can find you on TikTok. Heavenly Halos at TikTok. I got it on the screen on my new restream. It's so cool. But for those of you who can't see it, I'm going to make sure it's down in the synopsis, along with your webpage, unifiedfrequency.com. And it's UNIFEYED. Unified, because I tried looking up the regular Unified and it was already taken. So I know that's probably why that's stuff. But I want everybody to please follow Heavenly Halos on TikTok. She has some amazing content and some really great thoughts. And then check out her website because of the services that she offers. Now, those services, can they be done online too? Like, or do you only do in person?
Yeah, no, I have a microphone and I've actually tested it because sound typically doesn't transfer that well like over technology, but I think if you have like a good enough microphone that it can. I do have a pretty high quality microphone that I use, and I've given some to my friends like, "Oh yeah, like that was really nice. Like that I needed that." And I was like, "Okay, good." So it does sound good through the phone or whatever I'm using. So yeah, I do offer my sessions through Zoom as well.
That's
That's
awesome. I do think intention matters a lot more than distance.
Yes.
This is my thing. But I've never heard sound bowls over like a Zoom thing. That would be kind of really cool. Oh no, that's a lie. I don't know what's happening. Never mind.
You're good.
I'm trying so hard to like just allow the internet to just like be. I can't even concentrate. I'm sorry.
You're good.
We're all. This is why I love this show because it is just so real. We don't edit anything, and Lizzie always has this way of cosmically because of her energy. I feel 100% she absorbs all the bandwidth and blows everything out. So that's how amazing she is, and that's why I partnered up with her because I can't get through life without her at this point.
Yeah, as long as I can track my thoughts.
Yeah, but
This was such a joy chatting with you. This has been so fun. Thank you so much for getting on with us.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. This has been great. I've enjoyed this conversation so much.
Well, that's so great because I was going to ask you something, and we got you live on recording here. Most people that we have, like, I love having you as a guest, but would you like to be a recurring guest every now and then if, you would?
Yeah, of course. No, I
Awesome.
mean, I feel like, yeah, having conversations with like-minded people is like the highlight of existence. So, yeah.
I love that.
That's what we're building.
Awesome. Yeah, I think what you guys are building is beautiful, and I would love to be a part of it. So,
That would be great. Yeah, I would love to because, like I said, you really do. You sound like a combination of Lizzie and I together, and that's what's so beautiful about you. So yeah, we'll keep in touch, and we'll have you on the show as a guest every now and then. Especially if we're hitting on some topic that you actually work with, it would be nice to have some commentary in there from someone who actually does it. And yes, when it comes to sound, microphones are top notch. So now I could say the WIT microphones. They are great. They are some of the best. My voice sounds so good. I had to throw that in because one day Lewitt is going to turn around and actually say, "Wow, that's great. We're going to pay you for sponsorship." So if that happens, that would be wonderful. So, yes, microphones do count. Great speakers too. So I don't know exactly the best speaker that I have phones, but all good. Yeah, just while we're on the topic of sound, because one of my things I learned when I was meditating, and I tried out so many different forms of meditation, binaural beats. Are you aware of those?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, they're the
Yeah.
best to sleep to. I mean, I use them a lot in meditation, but I find that when I sleep with them, like when you're entering the conscious subconscious stage of like falling asleep, it's like very potent for me when I use those. So, yeah.
That's great. Yeah, because they're pretty potent for myself as well. I kind of like them because a lot of people say, "Oh, I can't clear my mind." Well, you're not supposed to clear your mind. It's your
Mhm.
mind just works that way. But for people that feel their mind is so busy, the sounds interfere with all the thoughts. Now, at least
Mhm.
that's what I learned. So it kind of quiets
Mhm.
everything because you're just trying to concentrate on the sound. So we could get into conversations like that. And then we could get into anything like UFOs and all the other fun stuff that I like to
Yeah.
talk about. You do. See, Lizzie, we got to know the winner. TikTok is fantastic when you keep finding the right people.
Agreed.
Well, yeah. So everybody, I want to thank everybody for joining us. I really want to thank Halos again. Heavenly Halos at TikTok, unifiedfrequency.com. Check out the synopsis. I'll have clickable links. Follow her. Check out her webpage. See if you want to work with her because I think she's absolutely amazing. So thank you again for coming on the show. And we'll see everybody really soon.
Awesome. Thank you guys.